My guest today on Dolphin Tales, senior guard on the men's basketball team, Corey Romich. Rome, thanks for joining me today on the pod, and excited to catch up with you again. We've managed to do these a few times over the years. This is not our first interview together.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's great to be on.
You know, I was thinking about it before we got going today, and I was thinking about how many times we've interacted over the years, your role within the team. You're now a senior, and usually like the joke is by the time you hit your senior year, you've seen it all, right? But in this year, I don't think anybody can effectively say that. I don't think that applies. So where have you been able to still use some of your experience, some of your leadership that you've gained over the years to help this team along, even in a time that is unprecedented?
Yeah, Scott, it's been a crazy year for sure. But I think it's been great. I think it's definitely given us time to like reflect and realize kind of what we have here, and especially for me being a senior, this being my last year, knowing that this is my last go around and it being so different. Some of the things I've tried to use is just it's all about the process and kind of just getting back to enjoying the process, the everyday work. And I've been kind of trying to preach that to guys that, you know, although it may be a long off season, long preseason for us right now, it's never ending. You just got to continue to put in that work day by day. And it's cliche, but it's so true. So
Time, it feels like one of those things that it's harder to measure this year than other years. But this would be a week as we're sitting here recording this. You'd be preparing, you'd have 4 games or 3 games, I think, under your belt if the schedule had played out as it was supposed to this year. What has been the way that you all as a team have avoided, say, that burnout with, as you mentioned, that extended preseason before getting a chance to tip it up against some competition?
I think our program, between our coaches, our weight coaches, they've done a great job of kind of, pushing us when we need it and giving us time off when we need it as well. There's definitely been some times. There always will be some times where you're feeling it. Guys have definitely hit those patches, but having that spark to keep going is always what you need to look forward to. So, especially it being a week away now, I think guys definitely have a different perspective and are happy to see the season come to fruition. So,
for those that don't know, we'll peel the curtain back a little bit here for men's basketball at JU. I mean, you all usually are on campus all summer. You're taking classes. You're going through workouts, as they call them, which is something that is fairly new as far as the extended on-court time with coaches in the last few years that has been added by the NCAA. And then once October rolls around, right, practice officially starts, and then you'll have a couple of scrimmages usually, maybe one on the road, one at home, and early November, you're tipping off the season. None of that happened as planned this year. You were gone for a good portion of the spring and the summer. You come back a little bit later on. You're the first sports, you and the women's team, first sports back on campus. What was it like when you all did get the chance to finally come back and then sort of experience, at that point, I guess you could call it a little sense of normalcy, but at least a little basketball sense of normalcy as you all got back over the course of the late summer to start working out together again?
yeah, you're right. Some sort of normalcy is a good way to put it. When we got back, it was good to kind of see the guys again, hang out with everybody. But it was still at that stage where there were new rules, new precautions put in place. So it was still different. Everything's been different. So just trying to adjust and adapt to kind of the new way things are being done. So although it was back to normal, it was still different. We couldn't go 5-on-5. Couldn't play much pickup. But it was good just to get back, like you said. And I think the biggest thing was just being around each other, being able to hang out with each other a little bit, getting to know the new guys. So that's kind of just what we took for granted, or at least I did. I took for granted, and I was like, wow, it's good to be around the guys again. So
You mentioned the new guys. What has it been like incorporating some of those new pieces into this year's team?
well, I think it's different every year. And this year it's been different, but it's been great. I think we got a great group of guys who want to learn and, you know, want to be great at this level. So I think they've done a great job of adapting as well. And we kind of have been able to carry them along, and they've been able to push us as well. So it's been great. Those guys have definitely come along. You know, we have 4 freshmen, and a couple transfers. So it's definitely been good adding those guys.
All right, let's step aside for a moment talking about the team. We'll, of course, get into what it looks like as we get ever closer to the season tipping off here in a moment. But for you, in your journey, you know, year 4 as a member of the team, what has sort of defined, now that you can sort of look at it a little bit, I'm sure, what do you think has been sort of what has defined the Corey Romich journey as a member of the Jacksonville basketball team?
Oh gosh, I've definitely had my share of up and downs, as has anybody. But I think for me, the biggest thing I've taken away is probably just outlook, how you look at situations, how you react to them, and I think that's the biggest takeaway I can take is that everything's not going to go my way, and I have to face that with reality and continue to work. It's been a process. You know, I've definitely gotten better each year I've been here. I've grown as a person, grown as a player. So I think it's been good for me. You know, and this being my last year, I think that it'll be a good one, despite all the COVID and new situations. So I'm happy.
That's good. And you know, you mentioned growing as a person as well as a player. I mean, that's such a huge part of all of this. I mean, the commercial is cliche, you know, athletes going pro in something other than sports, but it is more true than we really realize sometimes. I mean, when that last game, the horn sounds and you walk off the floor, I mean, have you given a whole lot of thought? Have you to what is next as you finish up your degree and move on?
Uh,
I don't want to fast forward things on you. I want you to be able to enjoy your last year first.
no. I've definitely thought about it. I'll probably stay down here and get a job working down here. Not sure where yet, but we'll figure that out in the soon near future. But I've definitely tried to cherish it. I've definitely gotten that last ditch, like everyone talks about. This being my last year, I think it's great. I just kind of cherish the moments in the dorms and kind of hang around the guys. I know I won't be able to do that. I'll be working a 9 to 5 probably. So hanging out with the guys and relaxing with them is probably not too realistic next year. So I'm trying to enjoy that while it lasts. So
I feel you there. I mean, there's the stuff I remember and think about every day from the college experiences, hanging out with the guys and enjoying a time that is unlike any other. There's not that there's no responsibility, but there's just a different level of responsibility, certainly,
yeah, exactly.
in the college years. All right. You want to stay down here because the weather's warmer? Is that what it is? I mean, you hail from the Northeast. For those that don't know, you've lived in Colorado. I mean, places that are cold, right? So you want to stay in the warmth?
There's something about the warm weather that attracts me. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely I like the lifestyle down here. I do see myself going back up north sometime, but when I'm younger, I want to enjoy this. So
yeah, I don't blame you for that. Though, of course, today it's 50-something degrees outside, so maybe we jinxed it by talking about the nice weather.
I know, right? But 50 is. I'll still take 50 over 20 degrees. So
yeah, and piles of snow and things like that. All right, this year's team. What stands out about this group?
I think the biggest thing for me is just our unselfishness. I think we've got a lot of guys that want to play the right way and want to play together. I think we got a lot of guys that are unselfish by nature, and I think that our camaraderie and our chemistry is at an all-time high since I've been here. And I think that's one of the biggest things, especially with getting so many new guys and having so many returners. So meshing those and us being able to mesh so well has really contributed to good practices and hopefully wins in the future.
Yeah, I certainly hope to see all that as well. It'll be different, undoubtedly, shorter non-conference schedule, but it does get started on Wednesday, November 25th. How far along are you guys actually into maybe preparations for an opponent versus still working on yourselves at this point in time?
I mean, I think it's always a little bit of both. I think you always try to prepare, working on yourselves, fine tuning areas that we may have weaknesses in. But I think we do a great job as a team, just kind of looking at ourselves. And although we may have different opponents, I think we focus on us a lot because that's where we need to improve. So although it's been good, we are definitely looking forward to playing another opponent. Playing against ourselves has definitely gotten old, like probably a lot of other teams have. So, but we're definitely looking forward to that. So,
has it kicked in yet? Do you feel like it's almost a game week?
Not yet. Honestly, not yet. I think the day before, or probably a couple days before, it will start to kick in. But it's definitely different. Like you said, this time last year, we were probably traveling somewhere or coming home from some game, having 3 games under our belt. So it's definitely a different feeling. But I'm just excited, and I've definitely been enjoying the time with the guys and just practices with them. So.
Well, I certainly hope that things get off to a nice start here this year for the team and can parlay that into what'll hopefully a conference run and maybe an NCAA tournament berth at the end of it. What a great way to cap off your senior campaign that would be to get the historic Jacksonville Dolphins program back to the NCAA tournament. But we don't want to put the cart before the horse, one game at a time. I know how the coaching staff of the team operates. But Corey Romich, I appreciate you joining us today here on the Dolphin Tales podcast. Look forward to seeing you out on the floor about a week from today, and it'll be fun, right, to get some intercollegiate activity, some contests going again.
Yes, it will. It will. Thank you so much for having me on.